Hello guys,
Hiya.
here we are again. We're back
Can I just say first, Craig's come to show his car to his new car, and I'll just say it's an estate. It's something I've never had, so basically I'm sat in the back because I wanted to see how nice and roomy it is. And
is it roomy, Martin?
do you know what? Look at this. I am so surprised. I've got tons of headroom. I feel like I could really stretch out. I could go on a massive long journey in this and be really refreshed getting out of this.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. And we aren't even on the move.
And this is the first time I've had an adult in the back, so as you can see there's normally car seats, so I've had to remove the car seat so Martin can sit in the back.
Obviously, but I sometimes do act like a child, but I don't now need a car seat. But yeah, lovely space in the back of this. I'm so impressed. Do you know, I'm slightly tempted to always have an estate of my own. Never had one.
You have mentioned it a number of times, haven't you?
So what have we got with this then?
So yeah, this is the next generation Astra. I know we filmed the Mark 6 when I had the Astra Elite we had, and the Mark 5
I
actually.
remember that, yeah.
And I did say that the next car will probably be the new shape, and we'll review it. 2 years later.
Talk about timing there, bang on.
We finally got there. This is the next generation, so it's the Mark 7 Astra it will be. As Martin said, this is the estate form, or Sport Tourer as Vauxhall call it.
Yeah, I do actually like the look of this car, especially the back. I think it's got a bit of presence to it as this for an estate.
It has. So yeah, it is it's a SRi trim level, or SRi nav technically, because it's the one with the navigation system. 1.6 turbo engine, so it's 200 horsepower. So it does make it the most powerful one in the range.
Twin tailpipes. I like the look of it.
Twin tailpipes, yeah. Well, I suppose if you want to be geeky, the only way you'd actually really going to know, and only I think Vauxhall buffs will know this anyway, is if you want to know if it's the 1.6 turbo engine, there's two ways to tell. Number one, you've got the twin pipes at the back, one at each side instead of just a single. And the turbo badge on the back has red inserts. If it is the 1.4 turbo with 150 horsepower, it has usual black inserts.
No, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I would have never known that. I just caught my eye the fact it had twin tailpipes in a state and how cool it looked.
That's just something Vauxhall done for quite a few years now with different cars to signify higher performance.
I must say you've got a really well laid out interior in this. I like the piano black.
Yep.
I actually prefer that to carbon fibre. I've got carbon fibre in mine.
Well, it's funny you mention it. It's one of the reasons that made me go for this car is the interior.
I really like how the system's laid out there at a bit of an angle, but it's all really nice and flush.
Yeah, it's a bit more interesting than I think this generation of Focus would probably wind up going for it. I do prefer the interior, and I think it looks a little bit more classy.
Well, you see, I'll just say for all, my Fiesta's got the tablet, and a lot of cars are this way now, where you've got your tablets are stuck up for your entertainment system.
Yeah, it's getting quite fashionable, isn't it?
It might be fashionable, but I will be honest. I prefer something like that, which is concealed within the dash and flat, and not intrusive up in the air. Is that me being me? And most of my other cars have been like this before. And
I think it's a nicer design, so it's nice and flush in the dash there. Yeah, definitely.
I could live with that better.
But yes, I find it pretty useful. So this is SRi, so it's not mega equipped with stuff like heated seats and full leather and all them gubbins. But the reason I went for this and not that actually was because of this. Martin will know what I'm on about with this.
Handbrake.
Elite models of the Astra have electronic handbrake,
and
I'm not a fan.
I'll just say, out of all my cars I've had, and I've learnt to drive obviously using a handbrake, as most people will, and I only ended up with one car which had an electronic handbrake, and that was my 2-litre diesel Mondeo, and it took a pain and a long time of me owning it over the time to get used to it. Just as I got used to it, then the car went, and then I got my Fiesta ST line not ST line, Fiesta ST that was filmed, the yellow one, which obviously went back to normal handbrake, and boy was that hard to get used to that.
Yeah.
It's not a thing I'd like.
No, I generally prefer. That's one of the reasons why I went for this trim and not something higher. But you've got your creature comforts as you'd expect, so your cruise control. This one has standard air conditioning. Obviously, elite ones and such like have sort of climate control and.
I thought at the end of the day, aircon's. If you've got it, fine. That's all you really
I'm just
need.
glad I've got it, to be honest. It's the first car I've had in years now that actually has aircon but works. Yeah. But yes, it's got plenty of features. You've got your button there to turn off your parking sensors. This has front and rear parking sensors.
Now, I've never known that, a button actually to turn parking sensors
I think it's mainly
off.
for the front. I think we've had it on the blue one as well.
The times I've had cars with parking sensors and you just couldn't turn them off.
Yeah. Mainly for the front ones, I believe. It is an option on this car with front and rear sensors. That has that. Obviously, traction control. This car also has the lane departure warning system, which I've not used yet. So I'm not entirely sure how it works. I think it's one that tugs you.
Yeah, well, mine
slightly,
on the Fiestas, and I think Focuses as well, is you get adjusted with the steering wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
They say it can be a bit daunting because it is like someone just grabbing your wheel for you, and if you're not used to it and ready for it, so I turn mine off.
Yeah, yeah. So that has that feature. Obviously, this one we have the sport button.
I caught my eye at sport button.
Which does
I like to see a car with a sport button or something
does make a difference. Yeah, it. I believe it just holds the throttle open a bit longer and that type of thing. Makes it a little bit.
Yeah, does it firm anything else up, or does it just give it a little bit more punch?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you, in terms of the suspension.
Right.
I've not really looked that far into it.
I mean, we're not going into the realms of M Sport and stuff like that, where you press a button and everything's firm.
No, I mean, this is a family estate at the end of the day. But yes, it does make things a little bit more interesting to drive. Just a little bit better handling and a bit, like I said, throttle wise, it just gives it a bit more. You can feel it when you're driving it.
Yeah, just a little bit of punch.
Yeah, and obviously your stop-start system that you can turn off, which
I must say it's a very classy gear shift.
It is.
With the chrome and that,
yeah.
But it's subtle, but it looks a bit classy.
It's very chunky to hold as well.
It looks big.
Yeah, it's nice to change gears with. Obviously 6-speed. Obviously your power socket down there, of course, and some cup holders.
And you get
standard
an armrest, which is only to be expected in a car like this.
Yeah, I've got very used to armrests on cars now. Cars that don't have armrests.
Yeah, and so had I, and it didn't seem a deal breaker when I had my Puma, but I sort of expected it when I got this Fiesta ST line, and for not to have one, yeah, I'm still do that, and I love an armrest.
And the good thing about this one is it doesn't get in your way. I do find on some cars that they're right in, you're like.
There is somewhere you can knock your elbow on them when you put your handbrake down or things like that.
So it's actually a really, really nice design.
It's either useful or not.
It's there, but it's not getting in your way, which is brilliant.
I mean, yeah, I'm really surprised. It is a nice headroom in this, and it's lovely legroom. It really is. You don't feel really low down neither when you sat in these seats. You don't feel like you've dropped.
And the seat's not even, the passenger seat's not even right far forward either.
No, it's tons of legroom in this. It's just that appeal of an estate in it, that you've got the confidence if you need to put anything big in.
Yeah,
you can do it.
The good thing about the way this car's designed, I think, is that you don't sacrifice boot space for legroom either.
Certainly don't.
You've got plenty of room in the back, and you've got plenty of room still in the boot as well. Obviously, in the normal hatchback, your 5-door hatchback, you suffer a little bit with boot space, but nevertheless.
It might be me, but I do find for a big car, let's say an estate, a big car, but I do find your wing mirrors look tiny when you sat in here.
They do, but I do like the design of them.
Oh, don't get me wrong, they're a nice design, and I think they actually complement the car. It's just that I've seen smaller cars with bigger mirrors.
They're very actually Mercedes-esque in wing mirrors.
Yeah.
The new Mercedes C-classes and things like that.
But one thing I've noticed, and a lot of cars you don't tend to see it now, you still got the stalks on doors. Yeah. I thought that was a thing that were long gone with cars.
I thought it was, yeah.
Isn't that strange?
But there you go. You join me on me, Todd. It is actually really nice to drive. I had the previous generation one, of course. This is very much similar, just more modern, really, as you'd expect. Vauxhall had a pretty good thing going with the Astra. It sold very well, and they're not going to change it that much when they've got a decent recipe to start with. It's a lot more dynamic than the previous gen. I will say that it's much. I'm not going to say it's a Ford Focus, but it's certainly a lot more dynamic to drive. Much better quartering, handling wise. Very impressive, in fact. And it's actually quite a nice blend of handling and comfort, really. So yeah, really very impressed actually with this new Astra. As I've mentioned before briefly, this is the 200 horsepower version, and therefore is pretty nippy. Let's just put it that way. Not that I drive around like an idiot, obviously. But no, it's certainly handy for motorways. That mid-range sort of overtaking sort of power is really very good indeed. But for now, yeah, sort of give you a quick rundown of what it's actually like to drive while I'm driving the thing. Plenty of room. This is the Sport Tourer, the estate. Really good. Lots and lots of room there. Got a nice load cover in there as well. And to be honest, so far at least, it's doing the job. So really quite impressed. Nice little burble to it as well. Not exactly a sports exhaust or anything like that, but it's a nice little burble. But yes, actually, although it might not look really much to look at it, this is in fact an extremely rare car, especially in estate form with this 1.6 turbo engine. Majority of estates, as you'd expect, tend to be kind of diesels, the sort of family workhorses, cars for business use as well. A lot of companies use them for that. So the 1.6 turbo in the estate form is quite unusual. It's very nice to have. I didn't want a diesel. The cars won't be doing the mileage to warrant a diesel anyway, and as it's something that we will be keeping for quite some time, that's the plan anyway. I did want something that is going to be quite enjoyable to drive, quite enjoyable to own, something a little bit interesting because it is rarer than most Astras, so something to keep the interest there. So far, so good. And fuel economy wise as well, quite interesting to point out. Being only a 1.6 and being the fact I don't tend to drive that fast anyway, its fuel economy is really good. It's a 6-speed gearbox, so motorway cruising, you slot it in 6th, and yeah, really, it certainly doesn't drink fuel at all. I've had sort of high performance cars in the past, and they tend to be a lot bigger engine sizes, and yeah, tend to drink fuel quite a bit. Really not the case with this whatsoever. Also, you're not going to get the same economy as you are out of a diesel version or something like that, but it's really not that bad at all, to be honest. So really impressed with the car. So far so good. Not had it that long, but Citroën ZX Vulcan. A few French car enthusiasts there. That's a rare spot. I'm sure Mr. Putnam would love that one. But yeah, really impressed. Thank you. Someone just decides to walk out straight in front of the car. So yeah, really impressed. I say I'm trying out the new phone. It's an iPhone 6s, which I don't know if that's good or bad at all, because I don't know anything about iPhones. It's the first one I've had. But yeah, hopefully it will come out alright. So for me, I think I'll sign off. There we go. See you later.
Feel free to comment if you like the video. Give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, you know what to do. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. And hopefully, we'll see you next time. Stay safe. Bye for now.